ashver.com.
Hello and welcome to ashver.com. You are watching an interesting video on reasons why kids fear the dark, bedtime fixes for fearful kids.
Please read the disclaimer carefully.
Innocent, pure and loyal, courageous, strong and resilient, these are characteristics of children before life experience taints them. If you take a moment, open your photo album, and remember, you will find yourself smiling while looking at certain pictures of Sarah. The time when she was 2, playing in fenced-in backyard area, when the neighbor's huge German Shepherd charged up to the fence, barking aggressively at her as she retrieved her ball. Instead of being afraid, little Sarah turned and scolded the huge dog, before turning and sashaying back to her play area. It was a funny and priceless moment. More importantly, what little Sarah had was a fearless encounter. Psychologists might also refer to the fenced-in area, and claim that the child instinctively knew she was safe and therefore, felt no human urgency. Whatever the explanation, at age 2, little Sarah was not afraid of what would otherwise startle and/or frighten her at age 10. However, though little Sarah's actions were funny and cute, they also prove my theory that children are not born fearful, as a rule. They learn the law of danger, actions, and consequences as they grow. Depending on the level of trauma connected to the experience, children may or may not develop what's termed as phobia. During summer vacations, we spent a lot of time at my grandparents' farm, which was a beautiful span of slightly raised hills, trees, and animal watering spots. There were dirt roads, and a railroad track ran adjacent to the road leading up to the property entrance. Because there were no street lights, the night presence was pitch black and made telling horror stories all the more horrible. The idea of kids on more than 60 acres of farmland, with animals to aggravate and pools to swim in, is definitely high stress. You need a creative method of keeping them within certain parameters. Telling scary stories was my grandparents' means of keeping us in line. They were farmers who were over 60 years of age. They were up by 4:30 every morning and in bed by sundown every night. They wanted to make sure we were good and scared to keep us from wandering away from the front porch at night, while they were asleep. It worked. Was it the best remedy? No. But it worked nonetheless. In fact, it worked so well that I sometimes have frightful flashbacks whenever visiting the property, driving that road at night. Nothing energizes a group of kids like pulling a good prank that gets the response they want. Though most kids do not see the harm in pulling pranks on their friends or siblings, in the dark, it can be traumatic long term. Scenario: Kyle and Jenny are walking home from the football game. The sidewalk runs alongside a house where family murder-suicide supposedly happened. The house is vacant and beginning to look unkempt. However, people walk past it all the time, never noticing it. Around 10 o'clock, Kyle and Jenny passed the area. They were laughing and talking about the fun they had at the game. Meanwhile, 3 of their siblings stood crouched behind a big tree near the sidewalk, which happens to be right in front of the abandoned house. As the 2 kids approached the big tree, their siblings jumped from behind the tree, wearing ugly masks, and made a scary sound in unison. This experience would send anyone into fear spasms and nervous hyperventilation. With murder and suicide connected to this story, startling someone like this, in front of the house where it happened, is bound to fix everything about that moment into one's subconscious mind. I'm a grandmother who often has to calm my grandchildren's bouts of fear at night. However, if I watch a horror movie, I find myself wanting to leave a light on when going to bed. Therefore, you can imagine what kids experience at night, after doing the same. Maybe it's just me, but I don't remember horror films being so violent, bloody, and graphic. Scary movies of my day were films like Godzilla, The Thing, or Dark Shadows, for instance. They were plenty scary for the time. Compare those movies to the graphic and terrorizing nature of horror movies made decades later. Think of movies like the famous Halloween series or Chucky, you might not sleep well for days. Some of those scenes are absolutely paralyzing. Nevertheless, kids love to watch. Kids enjoy grouping up at a sleepover and watching horror flicks all night, especially around Halloween. Little do we know, night fears develop during these times. We associate night with fear we feel because unsavory deeds usually happen at night in real life, as well as in movies. We also subconsciously associate fear with dark. Adults may not be aware that kids overhear many things they discuss. Many times parents think kids are asleep, pull the door up, and start talking, unharnessed. They hear you whispering about the recent escapee from prison who someone spotted down the street, and how you have to take extra precautions. They see the locksmith installing deadbolts on the front and back doors, they reflect on the conversation they overheard the night before, and fear is the natural response. As we alluded to earlier, fear is more pronounced at night, when darkness becomes the place where evil hides. A bedroom is the sanctuary from the stresses of the day. Use your senses to create the best environment for relaxing sleep. A good night's sleep could depend on the comfort you feel in your bedroom environment.
Thank you for watching this interesting and informative video. This channel offers motivational, inspirational, valuable and informative videos to soothe, cleanse and inspire your health, mind, body and spirit. You can find a lot of interesting videos on wide range of topics here. Stay tuned and keep watching.